Hello, this is Heather. Welcome back to The Reading Mama, where I share my love of books and what I'm currently reading, all kinds of things book related. So today I'm continuing a series on fantasy for my family. I've always been a big fantasy fan, but I'm realizing I'm not as big a fan as I thought. But I am learning and expanding and learning all kinds of wonderful, great fantasy things as an adult. And in part of that is reading aloud and listening to audiobooks about fantasy with my kids and introducing that to my children. One of the sections that I am learning to love is Christian fantasy. Now, there are a lot of great books out there that I am starting to learn about, and hopefully I'll be sharing about those more. But right now I'm going to just share the ones that live on our shelf right now. These are either allegories or Christian fantasy that we have read as a family, and I'll tell you about the age groups and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, there's so much more out there. And if you have a Christian fantasy suggestion, drop it below. Let us know what age range it's for. Is it for adults? Excuse me. Is it for children? What is it? A read aloud? If it's a phenomenal audiobook, let us know. Because everybody who loves fantasy would love that. So I'm going to start with some of the little kid ones that I have. And I don't know if they technically would count as fantasy or allegory or either. But I have Imagination Station and The Hidden Scrolls. Sorry, my kids apparently know I'm doing a fantasy video and are staging a battle in the hallway out here while I'm filming. But Hidden Scrolls is, both of these you travel into to history. In the Hidden Scrolls, you're traveling into Bible stories to solve a mystery. And their uncle or something has these magical scrolls, and they open it and then they travel through, and then they have to solve a mystery and find the secret word. And all of those things. I've only really read book one, and I recently read it aloud to my 7 and under crowd. They loved it. All of my kids have read these books. Once they have mastered reading, usually about first grade, my kids devoured this entire series. So this is ages 6 through 9, reading level 1 through 3 is what it says. And they're just really fun. They're kind of cheesy, kind of corny, but they are really great introductory books for little kids into a kind of fantasy realm with a biblical Christian value and worldview. And then also they are just ones that they can devour, that they can just really get into and practice that reading habit. So I love those. Next up is Imagination Station, which is like the Christian Magic Treehouse books. Really, that's what it comes down to. And in these, they go back to different times in history. This is a focus on the family. They have like an audio drama that is Adventures in Odyssey, and it's kind of like that. I don't like the audio drama very much. There are some things that I'm not a huge fan of. These, again, they're not great writing here, but little kids love them and they're great early readers. This would be this says ages 7 and up and reading level 1.7. I would say it's like second grade and above. For little kids, like I said, my kids have read this. I think this series has like 11 or 12, and this one has like 26 or something. And my kids have read, almost all my kids who can read have read all of the books. My current 7-year-old has read all of these and is working on these a little bit. She's not quite as interested in them yet. My oldest loves these more than these because they're history adventures and they're a little less hokey than these, but they've all loved them. Going on, I have a new to me series. I've only read the first book, but I'm going to just go ahead. I went ahead and bought the whole series, and I'm going to go ahead and recommend it because the first book was that good. So this is called Bark of the Bog Owl, and these are all good for girls and boys, by the way. I have nephews who have read all these books. I have known lots of friends who have boys, so I know I have a lot of girls. I have 7 daughters, if you don't know. But all of these are boy-girl recommendations, okay? It's not a girls love this. No, everybody does. So I read Bark of the Bog Owl, and it is like a retelling of David, because the basic story of David and his brothers going off to fight the Philistines, and then there's the giants, and David comes and he helps win the battle. That's the basic premise of this story, without it being at all like that story. Because you have Aiden, who's part of a royal family, and he's learning to be, I think, like a squire or a knight. That's what he wants to do. And then there's these Fichi people who live in the woods. So it's very fantastical, very different and yet so fun, so beautiful, so rich. Really loved it. I can't wait to read the rest of these, but I think what I'm going to do is start by reading this one aloud too. This is the next one I'm reading aloud to my littles, because I really loved it. I read it over the summer and immediately needed it. Super fun. It's, like I said, it's really funny too. It has a lot of really things. It's called the Wilderking Trilogy, but I think girls or boys would love this series. And then moving up, you're going to have, of course, Narnia. And yeah, I know there's 7 books, and this is like the least popular one, but it's the one that I have to read next as I'm rereading Narnia. And so this is The Horse and the Boy, which says 3 on the side, but it depends on your reading order, and that's highly debatable where you want to start. I'm not even going to get into that. But yes, if you don't know, Narnia by C.S. Lewis. There's the real world. There's Narnia. Narnia has Aslan, who is their deity, the guy who created it all and helps them along the way. And each book has like really different stories, so it's very hard to explain just the series in general. But once you start reading Narnia, you'll fall in love with it. I love it. I think everybody should read The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. Even if you're anti-witches in books, I think you should read it. As an adult, give it a try. I never read these as a kid. I didn't even know about them as a kid. And so I have really enjoyed reading them as an adult. I read them back in college for the first time, and I've read them several times since, and I'm currently working my way through the series again. Some are better than others, as with any series, but I highly recommend them. They're fun, fantastical, and they point you towards Jesus, so that's always good. I'm going to say my favorite for last. Okay, so we're gonna jump, and I'm gonna show you The Holy War by John Bunyan. So Pilgrim's Progress. Pretend I'm holding Pilgrim's Progress here. I'd have it, but mine is like a horrible copy that you need a magnifier to get out and read. Anyways, I really need to upgrade it. Pilgrim's Progress is phenomenal allegory. And yes, I would say it's Christian fantasy, because when you follow Christian's journey, and yes, it's supposed to represent the Christian life and our path and all the temptations that we face and how we can trust in God, and that we're still God's people, even when we fall to temptation. And it is amazing. But there's all sorts of creatures in there. So I'm going to call it fantasy, okay? Because John Bunyan's telling it like he's in a dream and he saw this and saw this. And it's phenomenal. Well, he also wrote The Holy War. This is less known. It is the battle for Mansoul, and it is also allegorical. But in this one, he's having a dream and he sees this happening. And this battle for Mansoul is the name of the town, city, whatever, that is being besieged by these demons. And I forget exactly, yeah, Prince Diabolus. Like, just like in Pilgrim's Progress, the names are what they are, okay? We have Christian who's Christian. We have, the flatterer's the flatterer, and then same in here. So, like, I think there's, like, Pride or something. I don't know. They all have very specific names. Diabolus is supposed to be the devil. Mr. Conscience, and all those. And Shaddai is the prince who's going to come and save. I really love this one. This is a weird copy, but I actually kind of like it because it has kind of these little, what do you call them, plate prints. And they're just, I really enjoy it. I don't know. I like it. It's a bigger book though. It's kind of funky. It's also a really good audiobook. I use this with my high schoolers. Pilgrim's Progress, we read as a family every other year, and have loved it. It's perfect. There's so many little Pilgrim's Progresses that you could read also, and I love those. I have a whole video about those over on my homeschool channel. Maybe I'll do one for this channel. If you're interested, let me know below. But I love all the different Pilgrim's Progress spinoffs, but I also really highly recommend The Holy War. But I would save this for middle school and high school levels, just because the concepts, it's a little hard if you're reading it on your own. Same with Pilgrim's Progress. I don't think I would let my kids at 3rd or 4th grade, even though they're capable to read it, I don't know that they would understand it on their own at that time. And then last but not least, and like I said, there's a lot more out there, and there's probably more on my shelves than I'm just forgetting about, but hands down, family favorite is the Wingfeather Saga. If you have not heard of the Wingfeather Saga, you need to go check it out. I know there's a cartoon. My kids and I watched it free for the first series and found it a little more disturbing, even though they'd already read all the books. The cartoon, like, it bothered them. Reading the books, did not give them nightmares. The cartoon did. So, you know your kids, use discretion. But as with anything, I'm going to just go out on a limb and say that the books are always better. And so, highly recommend these. So, Wingfeather Saga follows these 3 siblings. So, you have Janner, Tink, and Lily Igby. And let's just say they have a family secret that they don't even know about. That has been hidden from them. And over time, they learn the secret, and it causes all kinds of chaos. And there is a race to help not only save their family, but save their kingdom and the people that they meet along the way. And it is, I will tell you, they get increasingly more intense. You can definitely see that first one has been read more than the others. I would say that the first 2, so on the edge of this dark sea of darkness and North or Be Eaten, are actually less intense than the Monster in the Hollows and the very last one, the Warden and the Wolf King. They are allegorical. They do have a subtle Christian message throughout. It is not beat you over the head Christian message. You know that bothers me. Oh, you know what I don't have in here? I don't have Green Ember. That's in my animal one, but it's also got some Christian tones to it. But I digress. But Wingfeather does such a beautiful job of just sharing about family, and all kinds of things. I'm gonna share. It's also hilarious. Like, it is just laugh out loud funny. But it says on the back of this one, it says, an ex-pirate grandfather, toothy cows and real sea dragons, tours of Ankle Jelly Manor and Pete the Sock Man's treehouse, suspenseful legend and fascinating lore, genuine recipes for maggot loaf, and hand-drawn maps. Okay, I'll be there in a minute. And so it's just a lot of fun. It's a great adventure. The first one especially, they get more serious throughout, and if you're not crying at the end of this one, you're heartless. But they do have these books, not every page, it's rare. They have these really great illustrations in them though. And also, for added fun, which was kind of caught me off guard because I did them by audiobook first before I read them to my kids, they have these great little footnotes that are just hilarious. And there's like some side books that go along with this that talk about the animals and things like that. But the little footnotes will be like extra information about the animal, or like, oh, he's referring to this book where it talks about this. It was a popular read, and it just has like a made-up history footnotes in it that are just, I don't know, they're just hilarious, and my kids and I love it. But yeah, it's for all ages. I think even if you're just an adult looking for a fun middle grade read, go check out Wingfeather Saga because it is phenomenal and we absolutely love it. I think we've done the audio book and read it aloud, and then for the book 1, and then all of my older kids have read the whole series. 10 and up have read the whole series. So use discretion. Like I said, I don't know if all 10-year-olds could handle it, but mine definitely had no problem with it. Granted, we started it out. We read the whole series aloud. Yeah. Okay, thank you. And so my timer's beeping. I gotta go get my sourdough out. So thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you have any other Christian fantasy for any age, drop it below because we are always on the lookout for more great fantasy books. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.